Back to Motherless Brookyln.
4 hours later.
I take it you didn't like this movie very much?
Man, it was just so long. There was an awful lot of nothing. It was just, the pacing was slow. It was an anticlimactic, ending. It just, God. Another one of Ed Norton's crap fests that hipsters will obviously love. You know how hipsters love to quote Fight Club?
I love Fight Club. Fight Club's awesome.
Case in point. Where's your vape, Brad?
My vape? I haven't vaped in like 5 years.
Really? I didn't even know you vaped.
Yeah, when I was trying to get off cigarettes like
really?
5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I don't vape anymore. I still smoke.
Okay. A lot of good that did.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen 9 people have died from it. It's a good thing I gave it up and I'm just smoking cigarettes. You didn't like Fight Club?
I mean, it was okay. The Fight Club was good. It's just the fans.
Oh, but I'm the asshole for liking Fight Club.
No, the fans,
Sure.
Like I know a guy who uploaded to like Facebook or YouTube this black and white video of him reciting a line from a speech from Fight Club, and I'm just like, God.
I remember people doing that all the time with Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
There's always that kind of movie people do stuff like that with, really. Like, even if someone is a fan of the movie, really.
Yeah.
You can still kind of be like, tone it down.
Right.
Or something.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like that copy pasta that was going around that started out with, well, really, you have to have a huge IQ to enjoy Rick and Morty. And it goes on for like a whole paragraph.
God.
It's hilarious. Laura has not watched that show because of stuff like that. I had to tell her, it's actually a pretty good show.
I did not even know that copy pasta was a thing. Now
Look it up. It's
you're
funny.
gonna have to send me a link.
It's from a while ago, but yeah, that's pretty funny.
Jeez.
So you see a lot of people quoting this movie then?
I mean, that's my prediction anyway.
I loved this movie.
Did you really?
No! No, I didn't. No, dude, I think you and I might be in the same boat on this. Did I scare you for a minute?
No, but that no was just a little much.
I just wanted to see what you'd do. I figured I should spontaneously yell something when reviewing this film. No, dude. So, okay, you know what? I'll say this, between the 2 Alec Baldwin movies I saw today, I hope that Arctic Dogs is the one that gets nominated for Academy Awards.
I didn't even know Alec Baldwin was in Arctic Dogs.
Yeah, he is. He's in that.
Now, that's the one thing I did like. There was a lot of cool people in this.
Same with Arctic Dogs. No, there is. You know what? I'll say this. There is stuff to admire about this movie, I thought. I mean, it's ambitious, and, it is Oscar season, so we have The Vanity Project in theaters right now, because, dear God, that's what this is, and I respect that. As somebody who's written, directed, and starred in many movies of my own, I can respect a Vanity Project.
But yours aren't pretentious. Yours aren't,
that you've seen.
All right, when are you making a gumshoe movie, Brad?
When I get the budget. Okay, I attempted to one time. I'm not even kidding. I just forgot about this. We used to, back in the day, we used to, start projects that we never finished, and one of them was, this noirish gumshoe thing with Dave as a back alley abortion doctor. We were edgy back then.
I'd still watch it.
Hey, footage of that movie.
I mean, I played Manny, for Hooker with Heart.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't a gumshoe movie.
Well, no, but I mean, you're talking about edginess,
Oh, well, sure. I mean, yeah,
Hooker was kind of edgy.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying I'm not saying boy, am I glad I'm in my PG phase right now. No. I just mean we used to, man, we'd had a movie that was about a pedophile priest called Chester the Molester.
Yes.
I mean,
hi, Nick.
Hey, That classic. That shit doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah, oh yeah. The world has not been the same since. No, there's not been any kind of like sleeping medication that has matched that movie. Well, I don't know. You got Motherless Brookyln in theaters right now, so no.
Right.
I think like. Cause yeah, I love going to see a good like vanity project like this, and this is like Edward Norton's baby. Like it's based on a book, and he adapted the screenplay himself. He directed this. He stars in this in a performance that, hey, if it were 30 years ago, it probably would get him an Oscar for Best Actor. Like because what this movie kind of is, it's like if you crossed. LA noir with like a skosh of Rain Man.
Yeah.
Like kind of a little bit, depending on the scenes, really.
Yeah.
In some scenes, he's keeping it together. In the narration, he's keeping it together.
And that bothered me.
So you noticed that too, right?
If he has Tourette's and he has problems speaking and everything, the narration that he did was just like, I mean, maybe he did like multiple takes.
Yeah, we're listening to the 30th take of like the narration, and you know, I mean, I liked sitting there seeing this like kind of ambitious like film noir period piece. 50s, maybe it may be taking place 40s, 50s. I'm not sure.
I'm guessing 50s because the trumpet player said that he used to jam with somebody in the 40s.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like sitting there seeing like this kind of like period piece like this LA Confidential, LA Noir kind of thing. I put in New York. I was like, yeah, you know, I like it when one of these movies comes around. This isn't a great one, but I can admire like, you know, the way the movie looks, like some shots are well done in the film. Watching this movie, I was kind of being reminded a lot of Live by Night, the Ben Affleck movie from a couple of years ago. Again, another pretty freaking ambitious period piece and a vanity project, But as much as that movie didn't get very good reviews, I thought it was fine, at least like better than this, because at least in that movie I could marvel a lot at the cinematography that was really perfect in that movie. This, it looks good. Like it could look better, but there are shots I thought were really well done. Same.
Yeah. I will give it that. I did think that they were you know, some shots were artsy, but they weren't overly artsy. I as a cinematographer have been known to do some of the things that they did in this movie, which was like show your subject through a mirror. Hell, I did that on Game Boys.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, I look back at Game Boys and I see that and I'm thinking I shouldn't have done that.
I look back at any movie that I wrote from that time and go, shouldn't have done that.
The whole movie?
No, not the whole movie.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Like maybe, I don't know, certain things in the script. Or
yeah.
But I mean, hell, I could say that about any project I've done.
But like I had some problems with some of the editing, you know, because they could have cropped out a lot of scenes.
What do you mean, that 4-hour scene that takes place in the jazz club?
Yeah, right.
You didn't think that could have been cut down?
Christ. Or the random shot of the weeds blowing in the wind at the end. It's like, why? What was that for?
That was just for Terrence Malick at the end of it. My problem with this movie, and there's a few.
Yes. But
the biggest problem that I have with this movie, is I didn't give a shit. Like, I really, really didn't. Because what it is, it's about this private detective agency in which their leader, their mentor, Bruce Willis, is killed at the beginning of it. And that made me sad because I was sitting, I mean, it shows him dying in the trailer, so I knew it was going to happen, but it might as well be a cameo in this movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, he dies so early on, and I was sitting there going, man, it's great seeing Bruce Willis back in a movie this big and certainly out in award season, and he's in it, like, maybe 5 minutes or something like that. I'm like,
5-10 minutes.
Right, yeah. I'm like, I want to see Bruce Willis in more of this, more of like a big movie like this. He deserves it. He deserves to have a comeback. So what they're investigating is what may have gotten Bruce Willis murdered, because he's certainly someone who all of these detectives have looked up to, but some of them feel it's maybe too kind of dangerous to look into. But Edward Norton, who worked for Bruce Willis and who has Tourette's, is he looked up to him so much as a friend and mentor, and he wants to find out what is this thing he was investigating that got him killed. The problem is he dies so early on in the movie, where I was sitting there going, I really don't know much about this guy, like this character. Like, you really kind of just introduced me to this situation. I don't care enough to follow this 2.5 hour story about the death of someone I just met and feel like I should have spent more time with.
Right.
I feel like the only reason they're expecting me to care is because it's Bruce Willis playing him.
Right.
I'm like, I wanted to see more of these guys' friendships and their interaction with each other, and I didn't get a lot of that. And the way that the plot unfolds and unfolds and unfolds and unfolds, there's a couple things about it that I saw early on that was going to be a reveal of somebody who was going to be in on the whole thing. And so I was waiting for that to happen, and eventually it does. But other than that, you get into these plot lines about the slums and these corrupt councilmen.
Which, by the way, on that point, I will say that I did kind of relate to that, because Chicago is going through something like that right now, and I'm just kind of like, wow, it's pretty relatable, I guess. But
I mean, it's
would have been better if it was in a better movie.
Yeah, because there's about 20 other things going on in this movie.
Right, that's another thing too.
And so you're following this thing with the slums, and then we spend all this time in this jazz club, and characters kind of come and go to the point to where I forgot they were even in the movie.
Yeah.
Like his co-workers at the agency, when they're gone for a lot of it, and when a couple of them came back, I was like, oh right, those guys were in the beginning of the movie.
Dude, I didn't even recognize Willem Dafoe with the beard.
Oh, I did, because he looks just like he did in The Lighthouse last weekend. He might have made the movie simultaneously. Yeah. Leslie Mann is in this as Bruce Willis's wife near the beginning of it, and then just kind of disappears.
Right.
Does not come back into this. And Alec Baldwin was definitely having a good time playing this like sinister councilman. As like this fictitious Fred Trump type.
And his reveal was so great. They like avoided his face for his first like 5 minutes.
So you liked that?
I did kind of like that. I did kind of like that, because you were like, who is this guy? And then you see him in that office like scribbling down that certificate. And I'm just like, and I even said to you, I go, is that?
Oh, I knew it was. Like, which is why I wasn't I guess if you don't know he's in the movie, then
you knew.
I saw the trailer. Okay. He's in the trailer for the movie.
Oh, okay.
Even the back of his head, you could tell that was Alec Baldwin. And so I was, from my end, I mean, I was sitting there going, I know that's him. Why are they hiding this for me? Like, I thought that was kind of weird, because, again, I remembered him from the trailer, but I guess if you're not expecting him to be in it, it would work better for you.
Yeah, and so now in that case, new rule, we're going to start seeing trailers, so I don't...
If you go see enough of these movies, you want to skip out on the
trailers.
35 minutes of trailers that they put in front of every movie, so I can see Playing with Fire.
Remember when we used to list the trailers?
Yeah, me and Sarah used to do that all the time.
And I guess I started doing it too, because I thought it was kind of a fun gimmick.
Yeah, we used to. Back when we first started doing this show, we used to talk about the trailers, and pretty much all of them. And then it turned into more just a specifically me and Sarah thing over time, which was fine with me, because like we would see so many movies. Like there would be only so many times I could say, well, this movie looks bad. But so yeah, me and Sarah would do it, and that was always pretty fun. I think we'll be reviewing Cats in December, so we'll have to do that again. I'll make a trip down to Springfield. But I mean, Edward Norton really does. He definitely throws himself into this role, and he's a great actor. He definitely is. But I mean, there's sequences in the movie that I thought he was great. Yeah. And there were even moments where it was funny, like when he kept blowing out the match when he was talking to the girl. Yeah. Granted, that was also in the trailer.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, I mean...
Damn it.
I still got, even though that was in the trailer, I still got a laugh out of it. And then there's other parts where it would almost just kind of ruin the tone of some scenes, where there would be something like kind of serious going on, and he'd just be like, "Ooh, TV Tuesday!" And like sitting there like, and it would be weird because sometimes people just would not have a reaction to this. Yeah. Like, "Ooh, piss fart," and the person would be like, okay, anyway, well, as I was saying, like, you know, like, they would have like no reaction to this guy who would just scream obscenities in their face.
Right. And that's the thing about Tourette's too. It's one of those it's one of those disabilities that you try to not laugh at, but it's kind of hard.
Well, in a movie like this, when you have like these dramatic scenes going on with death and everything like that. Right. And he goes, "Ooh, kiss face, titty all over" in the background. Like, it feels like the movie is starring someone who's heckling the movie in the front row. I mean, sometimes it works. Sometimes it does. Yeah. Especially when it factors into some scenes. But they are inconsistent with it. Right.
Narration especially. Yeah.
And
I think it would have added more if was in the narration.
Which I understand why it's not, because that maybe would turn this into an unintentional comedy.
Oh, okay.
If you had narration in which
the ticks were
there. Like, he's like, so there I was standing on the corner. Ooh, smelly piss fart corner. Anyway, then she came in dressed in high heels. Sexy legs. Like, I could see that being kind of ridiculous.
Aw, you changed your mind? Come on, man.
No, I mean, like, it is inconsistent. It is.
I got you.
But this was too long of a movie to be that's familiar,
right? Apparently I need to keep my car on.
It's too long of a movie for a plot that I didn't care. And then, like, by the time it got to the conclusion and the end, I feel like it just kind of ended, really. Like, it's this, you're going down this long road where there's all these plots happening, and you just kind of stop at the end of the road and have yourself a nap, and that's the end.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. Yeah.
But again, I admire the ambition put into it, certainly, like, from Edward Norton. Like, I do, like I said, like, I do love going to see a good vanity project. I do. Like, I get curious to go see movies like this. And sometimes it really works. Sometimes it does. And then other times you're biting off a little more than you can chew.
You saw the trailer for this. What were your expectations? Like, was it this or was it less?
Kind of. I had a feeling it would be kind of like this. Like, I saw the trailer for this movie and thought this might be one of those movies this year that, like, obviously they want this to be an awards contender, I'm sure, at least in the acting department, from Edward Norton. But I was like, ooh, this could go, like, positive, like, The Town, Gone Baby Gone, Argo, when Affleck directs something. I was like, or this could be this year's...
The Room?
No,
I'm fed up with this world.
Not like that. No, even be beyond, like, a vanity project. More like, that one awards movie, consideration movie that comes out this time of year that just kind of falls flat on its face because it tries a little too much, like Welcome to Marwen or Downsizing or Collateral Beauty or movies like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think this movie would go the full Collateral Beauty, which it doesn't. When I saw the trailer, I was like, you know what? If I were to guess, this might just kind of get middle of the road reviews, and that seems to be the case with it. And I I can see why. I totally can, because there's really, I watched this movie feeling nothing, and I left it feeling empty, which is crazy because I had a large popcorn watching it. It's a 2.5 hour movie, and I'm having a large popcorn on top of the onion rings I had earlier.
Right.
So I don't recommend going to see this in a theater, but I mean, there is certainly passion behind it.
I say save your 2.5 hours.
I say, like, I see plenty of movies all the time where I'm like, just like, no, it's totally just all together, skip it, like Arctic Dogs earlier. This is more like, if you want to just like stay home and rent it or pop it up on Netflix or something like that, because there is good filmmaking there. Like there are some solid performances in it. If anything, like there is passion behind the film. It just doesn't really work out in the end.
I'm just mad it wasted 2.5 hours of my life.
Yeah.
When it could have only been an hour and a half. That thing could have been edited down to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Just easily.
Yeah, if you cut out all the ticks and everything, it might be. You know there's going to be a supercut on YouTube of all of his ticks, like, and cursing
just
and
like
everything.
A montage.
Of it. That is absolutely going to happen when this movie hits DVD.
Good. Good.
Oh, well, it was better than the Goldfinch.
I'll take your word for it.
That felt much longer than this movie, and both of them were 2.5 hours.
Oh, damn.
That's going to be my, like, whenever, like, you know, like, kind of bad Oscar bait pops up, I think that'll be my go-to for the rest of the year, to say, like, well, let's compare it to the Goldfinch.
Well, it looks like I'm going to have to see the Goldfinch.
Don't see the Goldfinch.
Not even, like, ironically?
No, because it's not unintentionally funny. It was just boring. It was just long and boring, and I liked this better than I liked that movie. But even like that film's not gonna end up on my worst list by any means. It's just kind of like my staple. Well, you tried, because I want to do this thing like where, because you have all. I remember talking about this on a stream not too long ago, where you know, you have your different kinds of award shows, and majority of them, of course, going for whatever they think is the best of the year. But then you also have the Razzies and things like that. What I want to do is I want to do an award show called like the Bates, where it's stuff that's not getting nominated in either category, that's just kind of forgotten. Like, so like stuff like you know, the hey, basically like the hey, you tried awards, you know, like, so
the mediocre awards,
kind of like the Oscar bait, like the like all just Oscar bait movies that just got completely ignored in either way because they were too mediocre. So like the Goldfinch or this, or I don't know, like I'll have to take a look at the list and see what else has come out this year.
I would like to see award shows introduce a category for like most entertaining, because there's a lot of movies out there that aren't like, you know, Academy Award winning movies, but they're still fun, they're still good movies. You know, I'd like to see those kind of movies.
Isn't that kind of the MTV Movie Awards?
I mean, I don't watch the MTV Movie Awards, so I'll have to maybe. But like, you know, a legit award ceremony. See what I did there, MTV? Boom.
The Oscars like toyed with having a best popcorn movie category or something like that, until people were like, no, don't do that.
Why not? I mean, I don't know.
Because like right now we're at a point where a lot of those are getting nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, maybe not something like Hobbs and Shaw, but like Black Panther and like, you know, I see like big action movies get nominated for Best Picture now.
Yeah.
Some of them did, I mean, hell, Mad Max Fury Road was nominated for Best Picture. That was my favorite movie of that year.
Yeah.
It didn't win. But
hey, it was nominated.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, that kind of happens. Like, Yeah, so I don't know if the Oscars popcorn award. What would it be? Would it be the Oscar holding a thing of popcorn?
That would be hilarious.
Would it be like when Blockbuster?
That would be hilarious. Like instead of like the statue like this, he's like standing there like.
Yeah. Or like when Blockbuster Video had their own award, like the Blockbuster Awards or whatever. I think it was a thing of popcorn, like gold popcorn or something like that. I think, or maybe that's the MTV Awards.
Oh yeah.
No, this
Brad's tired. He's like shot. He can't even keep his awards.
I can't keep my award show straight. It wouldn't surprise me if Norton got like a Best Actor nomination for this. I mean, he is a widely respected. He is a great actor. He totally is. And he doesn't go.
I think you just exposed his angle for this movie. I think this was just like, forget everything else. This was just him being like, I gotta win an Oscar.
It could be. I mean, like, it's a big period piece. He wrote it and directed it himself, and he's playing a guy with Tourette's. Like, yeah. So it doesn't quite go Simple Jack or anything like that.
You never go full retard.
Yeah, it doesn't reach that level. Like, watch The Fanatic for that. Like, it doesn't quite reach that really, but just sort of enough to where it's like, what do you think, Academy?
Yeah. For your consideration.
Yeah, he probably will.
Edward Norton.
So you don't recommend this at all?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. But I was spot ready because I kept hearing you sighing next to me, checking my phone. Like,
right.
There would be like a reveal thing, and it's like Eddie Valiant and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I was like, that's it. That's the connection. Like, pans away, and I just hear you over there going. Like checking your phone.
It's like, when is this over? What time is it? Jesus Christ.
You're right, man. It's late. I'm
an old man, Brad.
I've almost been here 12 hours. It feels like it was yesterday. I saw Arctic dogs. Man. That was why I wanted to put off Parasite to go see tomorrow, because I can't. I'm really looking forward to Parasite. Like, I hear great things about that, but it's also over 2 hours, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do like
right.
3 2.5 hour movies tonight.
Don't blame you.
Yeah, I just didn't want to be tired is the thing, because like, I didn't want to sit there and like be like a great movie's playing and
right.
The seats are too comfortable.
They really are.
Yeah.
What was that movie we were fighting sleep with? Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
Did we go see something really boring a couple weeks ago?
I think so. And I mentioned we were fighting sleep. Well,
it's hard to remember, I
know, right?
Seeing so many movies, like, what the hell did I go see last week?
No, this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, like I said. So that's
a long time ago.
Yeah, so that's...
In movie watching world, that's like forever ago. People will say like, hey, what's good playing in theaters right now? And be like, well, show me a phone. Let me look and see what's even playing.
Get my Regal app. Okay, that sucked. Yeah. That was good. That sucked.
Pretty much, yeah. go see El Coyote. Trust me. All right. Well, next week I might not be able to see all movies Thursday nights because we're at a convention next weekend. We're at a con in Grand Rapids, so I'd be able to see a couple on Thursday, but others will have to wait until like Monday or Tuesday after I get back. So, hey, if you're going to be around Grand Rapids next weekend, come see us all there.
Not me, though.
Oh, you were banned from there years ago.
I know what I did.
It was just somebody cosplaying as a urinal. You shouldn't have pissed in it.
I don't care. Hey, I don't care what they say. She said she was 18. Joking. Totally joking.
He's signing autographs, folks. All right. Well, next week's Dr. Sleep and Midway and Last Christmas and Playing with Fire. Yes. Can't wait for that because
the one with that one guy that I can't see. You can never see him. Can't see him.
John Leguizamo.
Yeah, that's the guy.
All right, everyone. Take care.
Thanks for watching.